All right. Hello, everybody. It's officially Friday. It. We are talking one of my absolute favorite topics today. We're going to be talking about AI and how you should be using it in your martial arts school. If you have not had an opportunity to check out the replay of the webinar that I did with Mike Metzger, Stephen Reinstein, and Tulay yesterday, it's posted in this group. We had a blast. We did like an hour and a half where we each shared a handful of items that we think is important to kind of keep an eye out going into 2024. And then we did a 30-minute Q&A. So you haven't checked that out, check out this group. You will see the link to the replay. As you guys are popping on, say hello. Hello, Miss Vanderpool. Hello, Mr. Garcia. Hello, Miss Lance. I'd love to know yes or no in the chat. And if you're watching the replay, please participate. Are you currently using AI in your martial arts school? I think you could technically argue like automations are a form of AI, but I mean, like, are you actively using Chat GPT? Are you using things like Midjourney? Do you have like a booking bot or something like that? Are you actively using it? Hello, Miss Jilly. Nice to see you. Let me know in the comments, guys, because I just kind of want to see where everybody is at before we dive into on and off. Miss Morass says we started using it. Miss Lance, no. Miss Vanderpool, hello. Miss Herbert, nice to see you. So we are on marketing strategy number 11 out of 12. After today, there's only one more day. Are you guys a little sad? It's kind of been, enjoyable coming here. Quick 30 minutes of, marketing strategies. Miss Jen says we've used Chat GPT to respond to things to get a politically correct response. Good morning, Miss Smith. Nice to see you. Mr. Garcia says no. Okay, I appreciate the feedback. Today's discussion and topic is going to be on where I think the future of martial arts marketing is going to be in terms of AI. It is here to stay. It is not some fad. It's not going anywhere. It is going to take jobs, but it's also going to create more jobs. And what I think is really important is for us to stay at the forefront of evolving trends. And this is a trend that is here to stay. Ms. Smith says we do, using more and more. Signed up for the paid version after your first webinar. Awesome. Use it for email and communications. Very cool. As always, take notes, participate, ask questions. I'm fielding your questions and your comments on the other screen here. Fact of the day. I've been dropping a Cris fact every single day. For those of you that don't know, I used to be really big in the competition scene with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I competed for Team USA in Turkey. I was around 22 at the time. I was going to college. I ended up actually having to take a semester off to be able to participate in this, just in order to get ready for the trainings that we had out in California. And as a 22-year-old, I hopped on a plane by myself and flew all the way out to Turkey and ended up competing. And I ended up taking third place, which was really cool because I was only a purple belt at the time in BJJ. And basically everybody else I was going up against was a black belt. And this was just one of the absolute coolest experiences that I've ever had. Miss Jilly says, I like the blonde highlight streaks. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Miss Herbert. All right. Your action item from yesterday. We talked really about power partnerships yesterday, right? And we talked about developing a partnership either with the Chamber of Commerce, a partnership in education with the local elementary schools, or a B2B partnership with a local business that is near yours that services a similar avatar. And I said, develop that relationship. And if you already have one, go and drop off a gift, especially if it's a partners in education. The gift that I gave to you was from our friends over at Maya Edge. It's the Partners in Education pamphlet. It's a Canva design. So you get to click into it and it'll pull it into your Canva and it's all editable. How cool is that? So you can change it and make it look like yours. And now you have something that you can bring to the schools. For those of you that weren't on, if you just go to the replay, which is in this group, and you search the comments of the previous videos, there are links in there for you to access the free gifts, okay? So let's dive into this discussion on AI. I've so far this year alone, I've done 4 separate AI trainings. And I'm just going to continue to have to do them because it's changing so drastically. And what's so crazy is every single one of these presentations were very different than the one before. That's how rapidly AI is changing. And one of our core values here at GrowPro is that we stay at the forefront of evolving trends. It's important. We're a tech company. And this is something that I've spent a lot of time and energy researching and developing. And, I think what's interesting is this whole AI thing. I think a lot of people were like worried more about it affecting blue collar jobs than white collar jobs. I think that was a big misconception that a lot of people had, that, the blue collar jobs are going to go first. And, you'll see it in going into your local McDonald's that, you can now order on the menu. But, it's actually the white collar jobs that we're seeing be, very much at risk. However, yes, it's going to overtake some jobs, but it's also going to create more jobs. And the jobs that it creates are going to be the people that can train it. And the reason why this happened is because robots are expensive to build. Elon Musk has gone on record saying that there will be more robots than humans, and he's going to be charging around $20,000 to own one. I'm curious, for 20 grand, would you buy your own personal robot? Let me know in the comments. Miss Jen says, each of your AI training sessions blows my mind. I appreciate that. And I guess that's a compliment. Would you own one? They're saying it's probably going to be, about a decade, maybe a little bit more before, there's like a robot in households. But would you own one? I would sign up for it. Miss Palo says, nope, not going to do it. But, more importantly, we've got to think about, how is this going to affect our business? Miss Morass says, yes, maybe in the future. Mr. Garcia, no. Interesting, right? There's some people that are like, yeah, I'd do it. Others that says no. Oh, I like Ms. Lance's answer. If it frees up more than $20,000 worth of my time. Yes. And that is really where we're at. And what we're going to be focusing on is how you can use AI to buy back your time. We all only get 24 hours a day. We've all felt those days at the end of the day. We're like, man, I wish there were more hours in a day. And you should absolutely be leveraging AI to help you buy back your time. So if you go into Chat GPT, I just think this is funny, and you ask it, how could you use a robot in a martial arts class? This is what it comes back with. And all these images, by the way, are images that were created by AI inside of Midjourney. Robots could be practice partners. You could use robots to analyze techniques and analyze the students' movements to provide feedback. Robots could be used to lead warm-ups and cool downs. Also for medical assistance, safety, right? I definitely think the medical industry is going to see a lot of changes in terms of machines being able to do some of the more complicated surgeries, and the doctor's actually going to be there more for like the human and bedside aspect. Robots could handle administrative tasks, and it says, while it's unlikely, which is good. So all of my instructors, don't worry, you still got a job. It says, while it's unlikely that a robot could fully replace a human instructor, given the nuance and adaptive nature of teaching martial arts, a robot could potentially provide supplemental instruction. Who knows, right? I mean, guys, if you just think 15 to 20 years ago, for those of you that owned a school back then, 15, 20 years ago, you probably didn't have a CRM. If you did, it was a very elementary version of a CRM. You probably didn't have a lead generating website that was pushing leads to you on a daily basis. You didn't have the ability to book people online, weren't texting prospects. We didn't leverage email automation. Maybe 15 years ago, you were dabbling in some paid ads, but 20 years ago, definitely we're not running Facebook ads and Google ads. And this is just 15 to 20 years ago. And just look how much the systems and processes in our martial arts school has changed in such a short period of time, right? I know a lot of you, the only form of marketing that you did were the yellow pages back then, or maybe you had, some boxes that you would put at doctor's offices, or maybe you flyered the cars, right? So it is just so different than 20 years ago. So imagine with where technology is now, because it's compounding even faster and getting better and better, faster and faster, where it's going to be 15 to 20 years from now. And the first thing that I really want to challenge you guys going into 2024 doing is using Chat GPT in your martial arts school as though it's a second personal assistant. So I talked about this yesterday on the webinar. The second I open up my computer, I open up my calendar first because that's my boss. I want to make sure I'm doing what my boss says I need to be doing. And then the next thing I open up is Chat GPT. I mean, today alone, I have a tenant that's getting ready for renewal, and I purchased this building, so I have all of like the due diligence documents and the lease extensions, but I have them in like PDF files. I don't have the actual file that I could type. So I took the PDF file, I turned it into JPEG because it can read images. I dropped it into Chat GPT, and I said I would like for you to transform this image into text, and it shoots it out. Like, how cool is that? Otherwise, I would have had to sit there and type out what was up on the screen. So one of the things that just needs to become a habit is that it's there in front of you, right? If it's not a tab that's open, you're not going to think about it. But if you're doing something and maybe you get stuck and you look up and you see your tab open, you're like, oh, let me go in to Chat GPT and let me lean on it. Okay. Miss Jin says we had martial arts software, basic, simple, and awesome. How long do you think it will be before the avatar is usable? Yeah, so Mr. McMoyle is talking about the Hey Gen avatar. So there are platforms that you can basically film yourself in front of a camera for a couple of minutes, upload that footage, and then it will basically create an avatar of the person that you're uploading, and you just type in what you want that avatar to say, and the avatar will be in your voice with your inflections, and it even pulls in hand motions, which is pretty cool. I would say probably, give it maybe 6 to 9 more months, and it's already somewhat difficult depending on how well you train the avatar to tell that it's an actual human. It's the lips, right? The lip version can be sometimes slightly off, but I shared a AI avatar version of myself, and there were people that were not aware that it wasn't me, whether it's because they were watching on a mobile device and just the screen is smaller. But I mean, deep fakes are going to be unfortunate a thing if and it's just kind of crazy if this is the access of the technology that we have. What is the access that our government has? So I would say probably 6 to 9 more months. And, it's going to be very, very difficult to tell if that is an avatar or if it's the actual person. Okay. When you are using Chat GPT, you can actually train it on your business and core values and your core focus and basically all the things that I teach as a part of your vision traction organizer, which is like your marketing strategy, your 90-day goals, your 1-year goal, your 5-year goals, your core focus, which is like your mission statement, your core values, who your target market is. And you could take that information and put it inside a Chat GPT and just train it on what your business is, who it serves, what the goals are, where your statistics are at, and where you want to go. And you can even, train it on brand voice and things like that. So we did an entire session. Those 7 questions that I asked you guys to fill out on day 2 when we talked about building a strong brand, you could take those questions and the answers and put them in Chat GPT to train Chat GPT on your brand. So now when you go in there and you say, hey, we want to craft a 3-part email series about a goal setting with board breaking seminar that we're going to be doing in January based off of the information that you've learned about our school, now it's actually going to start to represent your brand much better. Okay. So you can do that inside of the Chat GPT. You can even create your own GPTs that people are selling, which is pretty crazy. So I want you to just get in the habit of using it as an assistant. And a few of you said you've been using it for correspondence, which is awesome. The huge time saver is the email marketing, right? Writing emails. Another huge time saver would be writing blogs. However, I wouldn't just copy and paste it. I would definitely put it in your own voice. I love it for coming up with nomenclature, like, you know, hey, we've done nuclear dodgeball like 27 different times, and we want to do something similar to dodgeball, but we don't want to call it nuclear dodgeball. So you can use it to ideate and help you come up with nomenclature. Maybe you are looking to launch a brand ambassador program, but you want to call it something different, or you want to do the Thrive mentorship program that we talked about 2 days ago, but you want to call it something different. So I love using it for nomenclature. It's really just like somebody that is super, super smart and trained on the entire history of the world that you can bounce ideas off of. You can create social media posts, video scripts. You know, with the HR and legal stuff, you want to make sure that it is, you know, compliant with your state and your laws and stuff like that. But you know, I feel like I've saved a good amount of money being able to put together just some basic legal documents, shooting it over to the lawyer, getting him to approve it. And, you know, instead of him charging me for 3 hours, he charges me for 10 minutes. You can use it to create your own playbooks and systems. I did a training on this for our Maya Elite clients at our All Systems Go event last year. It could read documents. One of the coolest things is I put like a 30-page lease that one of my tenants was on. And I was like, read these documents and let me know where you think there might be some room for improvements on the lease renewal. So it can read super, super fast, which is really cool. It'll help you with math problems. If there's formulas that you need to figure out, it really is your personal assistant. And it's only $20 a month, guys, for the premium version. I can't believe they're only charging $20. My recommendation would be to upgrade to the premium version. It is worth the $20. You're going to get access to Chat GPT 4 instead of 3.5. It has a lot more features that you can use. So they were putting a hold off of bringing new premium users on. They were putting you on a wait list. So if they're still doing that, my suggestion would just be go on the wait list so that when they open up more spots, you can get on. Okay. Mr. McMoyle said, I saw it and didn't know at first. Oh, yeah, my video avatar. Kind of crazy, right? Okay. So that is challenge number one going into the new year, is that this needs to be used on a daily basis. It needs to be a habit that you are creating. Ms. Jen said, wow, going to use ChatGPT for my lease renewal when it comes up. For sure. And, you know, obviously reach out to Mr. Silverman and Mr. Metzger first, but it's a really great starting point. Okay. So next up is Midjourney, and this is a text-to-image AI software. I'm seeing some martial arts schools use this already, which is super cool. Basically, what you do is you provided a prompt and the software generates an AI image for you. And what's super cool is you can use these and you're not going to have to worry about like copyright infringement or anything like that. So you're going to sign up. If you just Google Midjourney, you're going to sign up. You have to accept an invite. And what's kind of weird is you have to open up a platform called Discord. Discord is a platform that a lot of the kids use. It's kind of similar to Slack, where it has different channels. But basically, you go into a newcomer room, this is what a newcomer room would look like. And you type in /imagine. And then you're going to insert a prompt. So, you know, this is an example of a prompt. Insert imagine a group of martial arts children in class smiling with their arms around each other, Canon EOS 5D Mark VI DSLR. So this is saying I want it in the style of a DSLR camera, and then the 4:3 is going to be the aspect ratio that it comes out. Now, it'll spit out the image, and I think in this example, so a group of martial arts children in class smiling with their arms around each other. This was what it spit out. And this was from a few months ago, guys, and it's getting faster and faster. And then once it gives you the image, it gives you these options that say like U1, U2, U3, U4, or V1 through 4. What the U stands for is to upscale. So you're basically asking like, hey, U1, so this would be 1, 2, 3, and 4. U1, I want you to create a larger, more defined version of it. The V is create a new image based on the current image. So maybe out of these 4, I really liked this bottom one. And I'm going to say, hey, for V4, if I click on it, it's going to create a new image based on that current image. So upscale, create a larger, more defined version. V, create a new image based on the current image. And then you can DM the image directly to yourself and download it and have access to it. And you can be using these in your social media posts. You can use these in, you know, any type of marketing that you're doing, whether you're creating flyers, You can use it in your ads. We are seeing it work really, really well with ads. Miss Smith says, I got into the upgrade this week. Awesome. Best $20 you've ever spent. You just bought an assistant for $20. Pretty cool. A month. This is like the last 5 versions of Midjourney. So this was the original version 1 where the same exact prompt was used. So this was the first kind of version of Midjourney. And as you can see, as each one, this is an actor, Rowan Atkinson. You might recognize him. As you can see, each one gets better and better and better and better. And I mean, this was, it's even better than what is listed on this page today. Here's just some examples. These were all images created from AI. Lots of martial arts. One of the things that it didn't do very well previously that it's gotten a lot better on are hands. Sometimes it would show like a kid or an adult with like 7 fingers or 6 fingers, or the leg or the arm wasn't positioned properly, but it's getting much, much better. And again, all of these, this is not an actual child that exists on this planet, okay? Maybe a kid looks similar, but this is completely generated from artificial intelligence. Miss Van Dusen, is there a way in Midjourney where you don't have to keep scrolling? I know it's such a pain, right? You hit enter and then no, there's not to my knowledge. That's just kind of part of it. There's so many people. Maybe finding a room where there's not as many people in it. I try to get the positive aspect of it as like I get to see what other people are doing, but it is a pain that you have to scroll back up to find it. Feet are still awful. Yeah, feet aren't all that great. Reinstein Slides yesterday had pictures of people with 3 left hands. Yes, it did. He used all of his images were created by AI. Can you generate using your own logo? So logos and text are not where they need to be. As you can see, there are logos on here. So what we do is once we have an image, if we want to put the logo on the uniform, we will pull it into Canva. And inside of Canva, you can upload your logo and then place it on the image. The other thing that we use Canva for is sometimes the images will have text on it, and the text is never spelled the way that you want it to. Canva has this really cool feature called the text tool, where you can like crop out where the word is, and you can type in the actual word that you want, and it will pull in the same font that was generated from the AI image, which is really freaking cool, okay? How do you wrap the photo to uniform in Canva? So you just got to make sure the prompt doesn't have any logos, because it'd be kind of hard to cover it up. And it really just depends on the angle of the uniform. So the easiest ones are going to be, like shots that are straight ahead, because you can just kind of put it directly on the uniform. But this is something that we are doing for a ton of our clients at GrowPro who, they struggle with getting us assets. So we just create the images inside of AI, inside of Midjourney, and then we put the logo directly on. But again, anything that's kind of angled, it's not going to come out all that great. It's got to be more of a straight shot. Great question. Okay. All right. So, and guys, these are really old. I just pulled some pictures from an old folder that I had. But these Midjourney images are probably 3 to 4 months old. So they're even better now. The last kind of thing is the booking bots, right? And I've talked about this a couple of times. My team has off Saturday and Sunday. Leads are coming in. The ads are still rolling. And my team also works from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. And, at 4 o'clock, prime time hits. We're servicing students. Appointments are coming in. The phone is ringing. And our leads get an automation, right? And we often get a response from those automations, and then nobody responds via text until the team either gets into the academy the next day or on Monday, or when time kind of frees up. And we also get a ton of inquiries on the weekend and at night, right? So we were really trying to solve for this problem, because there's just so many different ways that people can reach out to us now, right? It's not just calling the cell phone. They can text us, they can send us a Facebook message, an Instagram DM, they can opt in on the website, they can use a chat widget. There's just so many different ways, and we wanted to make sure that we weren't falling through the cracks, because at the end of the day, it's speed to lead. You have to be the first one to respond, because we know they're not just checking us out, they're also checking out our competitors. And we needed a platform that allowed us to build this. So we build our, we call it the Budo booking bot. You can call it whatever you want, on High Level, which is just a white label CRM that basically every agency in the world uses, but they typically call it something else. So it sounds like they built it. We're transparent about that. And there was a lot of stuff we had to figure out, right? Like, how do we trigger the bot? We wanted the bot to be able to respond not just to text messages, but to chat widgets, to Facebook messages, to Instagram messages, to Google Business Profile messages. And then, we had to train it what to say. And then we also had to train it how to say it. And we wanted it to be able to book appointments, right? You can create a bot that, is just an information bot, but we ultimately wanted it to be able to book. So then we had to connect it to calendars. We had to make sure that our team got notified if the bot gets stuck, because it's, just like a human, it's not perfect. And we also wanted to make sure that it was only live during specific times of the day. And we put a lot of time and energy and effort into it because we really wanted to have speed to the lead, right? We wanted to be able to respond instantly. Mr. McMoyle starting to test ours now. Very exciting. Yeah, so we took on 20 beta testers because I successfully did this in my martial arts school, but that was just one bot trained on our information. So we've got 20 beta testers that are just starting to get launched out now. A lot of them are going to be starting in January. But, they basically, if a text comes in or a message comes in to the chat widget, you can set it up. And if you only want it during specific times and you want your team to handle it during other times, the bot can actually respond. And what's really cool is, like, we trained it on things like, if the prospect tells you the child's name, then we want the bot to use the child's name in the response, right? Because that's what a normal human being would do. We wouldn't just say, oh, your son, or oh, your kid, right? And then we also wanted to make sure that it was providing availability as soon as possible, right? And if that availability doesn't work, then we want it to go to the next day. So all of this was built out. And what's really cool is our clients, which is what Mr. McMoyle is doing, is now they are testing their bot. So they're going into the platform, and you can basically ask the bot questions such as, like, hi, I would like more information. And then you're going to see what the bot responds with, and then you can give it another answer, and then you're going to see what the response is. So now if you don't like the way that the bot responds, well, then you know that we've got to train it on the way that you do want it to respond. So really, really cool things. This is only going to get better. I think it's probably about 90% of the way there. How does technology and AI grow so fast? It's with more data, right? So we've got to feed it more data in order for it to get better. But this speed to lead, this ability to be able to book appointments if you're on the mat, book appointments if you're meeting with an intro lesson, book appointments on the weekend, book appointments in the middle of the night if you wanted to. Automations can get that started, but the booking bot is going to move the conversation along. So my action item for you is to make it a habit to open Chat GPT right when you sit down at your computer. If you're going to continue to be doing work today, I want you to open it up. You can use the free version, but I would hop on the waiting list. Mr. Garcia says true communication in many forms. Yes. And our day 11 gift, I'm sure a lot of you already have this. It's been floating around the internet for a little while, but I do have this 99 prompts. It says I got 99 problems, but a prompt ain't one. It's my little play on Jay, kind of showing my age here. But you can download that. There's no opt-in. Just click on it, download it, and inside of the platform, inside of the PDF, you're going to find 99 different martial arts business AI power prompts, things from prompting for emails to ideation to HR to legal. And if you're not sure how to use Chat GPT, I even provided a 60-minute training that I did on, like an introduction to Chat GPT. So you'll get access to the training and to the 99 prompts. All right. Monday, it's our last day. I hope you've been enjoying our time together, these quick 30-minute sessions. I've really enjoyed it. We are going to talk about building your 2024 marketing and event calendar. I think a lot of you got the event calendar on lockdown. I think sometimes there's not enough recruiting, retention, and revenue events specific every single month. But having an event calendar is very different from a marketing calendar. So I'm going to teach you how to set that up. Ms. Van Dusen, another great session. Thanks for always giving so much great value. Time well spent. Appreciate you, ma'am. Appreciate everybody showing up live. If you're watching the replay, thank you for watching the replay. Have a phenomenal weekend, and I'll see everybody back for our last session Monday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Peace.